got 3:19. They're 7 minutes away from National Island Cup play. Gary. Minutes away from kickoff there, Kevin. They are introducing the starting lineups now. So. Hey, you can't start till 3:30. Somebody gave me the middle finger.
Coffee. So off and pizza. Try again later.
Yeah, and then to me, and I'll give you all the breaks I can give you. I don't know how I'm going to work this. I've got 2 mics and a headset, this VCR thing, and I'm going to have to keep switching. I think what I'm going to do is keep this headset on and hold the 2 mics, and then I'll just put it in Al's face when... That's what we'll do, eh? Or I can turn it off, right? I'm not over-modulating here, I don't think. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay, that's better. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Yeah, they're ready. Lined up. This game's going to start about 3 minutes early.
Got the key.
Oh gosh, they're gonna kick off, man. Too early. 3 minutes early they're starting. Just remember that, Al, and we'll catch up to it. Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, and welcome to the Superior Dome in Marquette for the pre-regional playoff game, the Lakeland and Hubble Lakes and the Ewen-Trout Creek Panthers. This game started nearly 4 minutes ahead of schedule, so we're already trying to catch up. And it's a second down for Ewen-Trout Creek. They won the toss. The ball is at their 37-yard line. And it's a second down. Back in the pocket. And he is deluged back there. Quarterback Ellen Mackey at his own 28-yard line. Let's recapitulate the game opening minutes here.
Okay, the open kickoff was taken by Baima at his own 30, and he ran it back to the 37-yard line where he was smeared by number 73, Andy Ewert. And in the second play, there was an incompleted pass, and the second play from scrimmage, we have a loss of about 10 where Mackey was again caught by Ewert.
And before the ball is snapped, we have flags on the play. That'll give us a chance to catch up. We were at a third down situation. Ewen-Trout Creek at their own 25-yard line. They have to go to the 37 for a Wade inside of the 35, 45, 47-yard line of the Lakes for a first down. And the penalty?
The penalty was on the Panthers for the left side of the line moving, and we have now a third down and 27 from their own 21-yard line, and Mackey's going back.
And he fakes the pass and he hands it off, but the Lake Linden defense shores up, and another loss in the backfield.
Yeah, he was hit by Bruce DeZellier for another loss, and this is going to bring up about a fourth down and a half a football field.
And they're going to have to punt it, all of that, and then some if they're going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Lakes defense looks ferocious here on the first series offensively for the Ewen-Trout Creek Panthers. Standing near his own goal line, ready to kick it away is Craig Demaray. He gets a high kick away. It's Marcotte calling for it at the 45, cuts to the left, across the 40, down the sidelines, inside the 40, ridden out of bounds at about the 30.
Marcotte fielded that ball on his own 50-yard line, or about just inside the 50-yard line. He had a key block from 55, Koskela, number 20, Barkel, John Locus, and one other, I think it was Ewert. There was a host of Ewen-Trout Creek defenders on him, but they were all put aside for about a 15-yard return.
So it's a first down at the 30-yard line of the Panthers. Here come the Lakes, breaking huddle. All-conference quarterback Josh Peters rubs his hands together. Man in motion is Miller. He stops, handoff. Miller blocks for Marcotte. Marcotte down to the 25.
Yeah, Marcotte tippy-toes down about 6 yards, where he's finally stopped by Bima, where it'll bring a 2nd and 6. That was a straight-ahead play. It looked like kind of tentative running there.
Alrighty, so a big gain on the first down. Al Koskela doing our color for us this afternoon. Our statistician is Gary Wenberg. We've got our team in full force here at the Dome in Marquette. Peters hands off, quick opener for Miller down to the 20-yard line. Looks like he's got a first down now.
Yeah, Miller ran off the left side, and he picked up about 4 yards, enough for the first down. The Lakes will have a first down here just inside their own 20-yard line. And looking at this game from our vantage point today, Norm, we shouldn't have too much problem seeing where the ball is at.
No, I'll tell you, those markers down there, the numbers are easy to see, the hash marks are easy to see. It's the beautiful stadium here, this Superior Dome. Alrighty, here we go. 1st and 10 at the 20 of the Panthers. Peters goes back, he throws it. It is nearly intercepted. Peters was rushed by number 82, Craig Demaray.
Yeah, that ball was nearly intercepted on a 10-yard line, and after the defender nearly intercepted it, hit the intended receiver in a helmet, and it drops incomplete on about the 5-yard line.
Well, this is something the Lakes did not do against the Panthers last week in Lake Linden. A, they didn't have to, and B, the weather wasn't conducive enough.
Well, it's pretty dry in here, Norm, and it's a nice field to pass on, and your ball is pretty dry also.
So let's see what they do on a 2nd and 10. Here's a pitch out. Marcotte, he's got very little running room, crosses the 20 down to about the 18.
Yeah, Marcotte stopped by Bickner for about a 1 or 2 yard gain after running wide. The pitch out went to the right side, and Bickner was waiting for him, and he just fell forward for 2 yards.
So it's a third down coming up, a 3rd and 8. 8:45 left in the opening quarter here at the Superior Dome in Marquette. Looks like it could be a passing situation. The ball at the 18-yard line of the Panthers, 3rd down. Peters goes back in the pocket, sweeps to the left, throws it incomplete. Miller was open, but he overthrew him.
Miller was wide open down on the 5-yard line, and the quarterback faded back and went to his left, and he just overthrew him, and he put his hands on his head. He knew that he missed an open player.
They do have an extra down here to pick up a first down, because they're certainly not going to punt, and they're too far away for a field goal attempt. So it's a 4th down and 8, the ball at the 18 of the Panthers. Let's see what the Lakes can do. Anything, just mark something down. I'll take anything. Anything. Here we go, the count. And rolling to the left, Peters looks in the end zone. Wide open touchdown!
Yeah, that was Joel Kiernan who went there, running pattern down the middle of the field and cut to the coffin corner. And Peters just laid the ball high, and Kiernan ran under it, and the Lakes go up 6-0 with about 4 minutes gone in the game.
He was deep in the end zone. Another step or two, he would have been out of bounds. But he did everything but stop and wait for it.
Another step or two, he would have been out. I think that's the north exit or the west exit, or maybe the east exit out there in the snow.
Yes, sirree. But the Lakes score, and they go up 6-0. They'll try the 2-point conversion. Peters goes back in the pocket. He goes right corner, and it's complete. What a play by Dan Barkell. That was NFL style.
Yeah, Peters faded back and threw to the opposite side of the field. Being a left-hander, he threw to the right side of the field, and Barkell took the ball right in the corner, touched both toes inbounds before he was pushed out.
So we have a timeout on the field at 8:25 left in the first quarter. The Lakes out in front, 8-0. We'll be right back. All righty.
I'll drink the coffee for the Elkers.
Okay, thank you.
Up for the kickoff.
Yeah. Maybe we should try to keep these at 30s, but if we can. Yeah, we already had the kickoff. They're rushing this game.
They're accelerating it.
Okay, back at the Dome in Marquette. The Lakes have already kicked off. And what happened there, Al?
The ball hit one of the front men, Jerry Applecamp, and he fell on it on his own 45-yard line, and Ewen-Trout Creek takes over on their own 45.
Okay, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff. Left side, some running room across the 50 to the 45-yard line. It's Bryce Everett.
That was Hawkins that took the handoff from quarterback. The quarterback went off a left tackle for a pickup of about 12 yards.
Wrong guy there. Ryan Hawkins, 5'8", 175-pound junior, and it's a first down for the Panthers. Took them, I think, a whole first half to get one last week.
Yeah, that was right near the waning moments of the first half.
So it's a 1st and 10. The ball inside the Lake Linden 50 at the 45-yard line. Handoff, first man through, running room, another first down. Was that Bima?
That was Bima. He's brought down by Jeff Miller after another 12-yard pickup right up the middle.
So it's 2 first downs back-to-back, and the Panthers are down to the Lakes 32-yard line.
We're seeing a different team than last week.
We're seeing a lot different team. With the exception of the first series offensively for the Panthers, this time 2 first downs back-to-back. Here they go. Handoff right side. Shoestring tackle on number 32, Bolo.
Chuck Bolo ran off of right tackle, and he was tackled after about a 5-yard gain again by number 20, Dan Barkell.
But not before a gain of 5. The ball down at the 32-yard line or 27-yard line of the Lakes. And I'll tell you, they're executing very well here on this series. The Panthers break huddle. Mackey is the quarterback. They're going to stay on the ground. Handoff left side, nowhere to go. That hole was shut down, and Hawkins is brought down at the 29.
Yeah, that was Bolo or Hawkins running off the left end, and he was met right at the line by Evans, and Jamie Koskela, and settles for a 1-yard loss.
Here we go, 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 6. 6.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. 8-0. The Lakes are out in front.
Ewen-Trout Creek appears to be running a lot of misdirection plays in the onset of this. There's good faking in the backfield by their quarterback, Mackey, and instead of running to their strong side, most of the time they're running to the weak side.
We'll take a 30-second timeout as the Panthers call for a timeout. 6:32 left in the first quarter. The Lakes out in front, 8-0. Alrighty, here come the Panthers. 3rd down play. Mackey calls the signals. Mackey fakes a pitch out. He's going to put it up in the air. It is bounded around, nearly intercepted, falls incomplete.
That ball was tipped by Dan Barkell over to Jeff Miller, over to Joel Kiernan, and John Locust was in there somewhere also. It was really intended for Hawkins.
So that brings up a 4th down now. The ball at the 28-yard line of the Lakes. Well, they're doing so well on the ground, I'm surprised they didn't stay there, Al.
Yeah, same here. He didn't have a lot of time to throw that ball, and their linesman blocking pretty well on the running plays.
They might be forced to go back to the air. Mackey goes into the pocket, looks to the sidelines. There's a leap for the ball. It's incomplete. And nearly again intercepted, but knocked down by number 82, Jason Evans.
Yes, that was a ball that was up for grabs, and it goes incomplete, so the Lakes will take over for their second series on about the 28-yard line, and the ball was thrown to Bickman, who's a pretty big man, but it was thrown a little short.
Already 6:20 left to play in the opening quarter. The Lakes out in front, 8-0. They scored on their first offensive series after stalling Ewen-Trout Creek from getting really anything going, and then Ewen-Trout Creek with a couple of quick first downs threatening, but the Lakes take over on downs. Peters puts it up in the air, and it's complete to Kennela. Kennela across the 40 to the 46-yard line.
Peters threw that ball to Kennela. He picked it up on about the 35-yard line and had an excellent block from Dan Barkell to spring him loose for another 7 yards, where he was finally tackled by Steve Butler.
So it's a 1st and 10 for the Lakes. The ball at the 46-yard line of the Lakes. Boy, kind of surprising throwing on first down.
Yeah, it seems like some little new formations we're seeing here that we haven't seen all year.
Here we go. Peters takes the snap from the center. Koskela over to Miller. Miller running room across the 50 to the 45 and down near the 40-yard line of the Panthers. First down.
Miller was met at about the Ewen-Trout Creek 46-yard line by 4 Ewen-Trout Creek players, and he carried them for an additional 6 yards, where the Lakes will take over again for first down and 10 from the Ewen 40-yard line.
That's their second first down on this drive. They had a couple on their opening drive here.
Four total.
Four total first downs. They break huddle. Here's Peters. Peters takes a quick snap from center, fakes a handoff, goes into the flat with a pass to Miller, across the 35 to the 30. He's down to the 25-yard line and across the 25 to about the 22.
Yeah, he's finally pushed out of bounds by 3 or 4 players down on about the 22-yard line, but when he was out about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he used the old straight arm on the first Ewen-Trout Creek defender and put him right out of the play.
So another first down, their 5th, and the Lakes are on the move once again. Well, they bring the ball back to the 24-yard line of Ewen-Trout Creek, where it will be a 1st and 10.
That was the same play as they were running last year in the Silverdome.
Here come the Lakes out of the huddle.
3 wideouts.
3 wideouts on the left side. Peters going back in the pocket. He's rushed. He gets the pass off. It's incomplete. And again, coming in to bother him was Craig Desmarais.
That was a deception play all the way. They had 3 wideouts to the left side, and Peters threw a screen pass intended for Evans on the opposite side, but he wasn't able to hang on to the ball.
Well, we have another great throng here. I say another. This is like a continuation of last year's playoffs here from the Lake Linden area and Copper Country area, but a pretty good representation from the Ewen area. Here is a 2nd down and 10 for the Lakes. And Peters hands it off this time. Marcotte, running room 10-5, touchdown.
Marcotte ran off the right-hand side. He was attempted a tackle by number 77, 59, 32, 82, and I can't catch the last player, but all 5 of those missed him.
I'll tell you, he was running knee-high, both knees up to his chin, Al.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way, like Crazy Legs Hirsch.
And it's another score for the Lakes. They move out in front now, 14-0, with 5:07 left in the first quarter.
That touchdown breaks Lake Linden's all-time scoring record by 1 point.
Imagine that. Here's Peters. Hands it off to Marcotte. He will not get in. So there's a timeout on the field with 5:07 left. And the score is Lake Linden Hubble 14, Ewen-Trout Creek nothing.
Yeah, he was stopped on a 2-point conversion. Norm brought the Swami's report in here, and according to the Swami, we'll read it to you. It says Barney Rubble 38, Ewen Creek 10. That's the prediction for this week's game.
Yeah, that's from the SOS and the Free Press, and people might wonder what they're meaning there. He's trying to play on words with the names of the towns. You might find a couple of other UP teams, and we'll pass those along too. Meanwhile, here's the kickoff. It's fielded at the 16-yard line, straight up the middle, across the 30, 35, close to the 40-yard line. Pretty good return there by, who is it? Okins?
Mackey. That return was by Mackey, and he was tackled by Andy Ewart on his own 37-yard line, about a 17-yard return. That kickoff was kicked by the big man, 81, Kentala.
Well, a pretty good return, and I'm sure the Lakeland and special teams not too happy with allowing that type of return. Not great field position, but not too bad at the 36-yard line. Hand up the middle for about a 3-yard gain, and door is shut on Greg Bima.
That was 40 on 40. Bima met by Miller on a real hard hit and a pickup of 3, but the play finally settled about a yard loss.
First quarter action brought to you by Lindris Chevy of Hancock. The ball at the 39-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 7 for the Panthers as they break huddle. Alan Mackey, the fine 5'11", 155-pound junior quarterback, hands it off the right side, skipping for a yard or two, and then dumped was number 32, Chuck Bolo. Yeah, Chuck Bolo was tackled in there by Bruce DeZellier after he hurdled the line for a gain of about 3 more. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. This is a big key play for the Panthers with a 3rd and 4 and the ball at their own 43-yard line. If they don't make it, they almost do have to punt. Lake Lennon is beefing up their line now, putting a couple extra linemen in. Okay, there's a fumble in the play, but he got it back. Mackey did, and who ended up with that? Ewan recovered their own fumble there. Jason Mackey fell on a ball, but he was fell on by a 240-pounder, Jamie Koskela, and for a loss of about 4 yards. So, a little tentative there on that play, and Mackey fumbles, recovers the fumble, but they'll have to punt the ball. And Demaray, who's played well defensively so far, in dogging Peters, the quarterback in the backfield, will punt it away. Kicks it from his own 30. Good spiral down the sideline. It's fielded by Barkell at the 30. Barkell keeps it, goes right side, brought down right along the 30-yard line. No gain on that return. Yeah, Barkell faked a handoff to Marcotte on his own 30 after he got the ball, and he was a swarm of Trout Creek players led by Corey Matson hit him almost immediately. So the Lakes with a 14-0 lead with just under 3 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter take over 1st and 10. They've been explosive so far when they've had the football. As a matter of fact, they scored the first 2 times they have had the football. Peters starts at his own 31-yard line. Handoff left side. Who's that? Gain of a couple on the play. Miller, huh? Yeah, that was a quick handoff on the left side, and Miller fell ahead for 2 yards, and he was met by the half of the Ewen-Trout Creek line. Ewen-Trout Creek overall playing much better here this afternoon, no doubt. Yeah, they look a lot better on a dry field, I guess. 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 33-yard line of the Lakes. Peters hands it off. Marcotte goes to the outside across the 40 and the 45 to about the 46-yard line. 1st down. Marcotte was met at the line, and a terrific block by Johnny Locust sprung him for a pickup of about 11 yards. So that brings up a 1st and 10. Well, I'll tell you, give the ball to Marcotte running wide, and it seems like there's 40 acres for him all the time. Yeah, especially when he has a couple of those pulling guards blocking for him. So it's a 1st and 10. The ball at the 41-yard line of the Lakes. Well, I thought this facility was impressive last year, and I haven't changed my opinion. Al, this is just a great place. Back to pass. Peters up the middle downfield. It's picked off at the 30, across the 35 to the 40. Picked off by Al Mackey. Yes, pick off by Al Mackey and tackled by Johnny Locust on about the 41-yard line. Peters threw that ball, a floating high ball, and Mackey, who's also an excellent basketball player, went up to the rim to pick it off and ran it back about 10 yards. Well, another 5-yard thrust, and that would have been a touchdown, though. Yeah, if he could have got the ball there, but you can't float it there. No, you can't. You can't. The receiver was open. So the receiver was behind the defender, but Mackey leaped up and grabbed the ball, intercepts and the Panthers have it at their own 40-yard line. Ooh, flags on the play there. I thought Bolo was going to get away with that. He moved forward, then he stopped, and then he stuttered left, and still no flag, and then it finally flew.
Yeah, that was, it looked like we had about 3 or 4 Lake players red dogging, and Bolo decided to do a little red dogging himself, and then got caught for 5 yards.
Well, so far, the Panthers, you know, on their first series, they were stalled immediately. Second series, they drove the ball good. They moved it really great, picked up a couple of quick first downs. Their last series, they made a crucial mistake on third down. This series, they're making mistakes again, or at least one mistake here on first down, which brings up a 1st and 15. Handoff left side. Get that Lake's number. It was number 33, the ball carrier,
Scotty Backus.
Hawkins, and he tackled him. Backus tackled him sitting down.
Yeah, that was Scotty Backus is starting to continue where he left off last week. He got into the backfield, and I don't know, somebody knocked him on his can, and he still managed to tackle him.
He was sitting down, and the runner tried to get around him. He kind of just held up both legs, and down the runner went. It's a 2nd down and 15. Mackey over the ball. He may have to go to the air soon. Back in the pocket, up the middle. It's intercepted at 50-yard line. What are they going to call? Yeah, they're going to call it an interception.
It was intercepted by Joel Kernan, but he had both knees on the ground when he intercepted it, and he proceeded to take off up the field, but they told him he had to wait where he originally caught it.
Okay. I thought maybe they might have disallowed that as an incomplete pass with Kernan already on his knees when he intercepted it, but he fell to his knees as he was intercepted it. Good call by the officials, and that's the end of the first quarter already, brought to you by Lindros Chevy of Hancock. We'll be back in a minute. The score is 14-0, the Lakes over the Panthers. Yes, sir.
13-14. You got to be careful.
Marked at the 48-yard line. We have a 1st and 10 as we start the second quarter on Kernan's second key play of the game. This one an interception. Man in motion is Barkell. He stops, goes up the left side, back to pass Peterson. He fires it down. It is caught at the 10, at the 5, down to the 4-yard line. A big league catch by Jeff Jakovich.
That was a well-thrown ball by Peters, who put it out in front of Jakovich a little faster this time than the floater last time. Jakovich streaking down on the left side, stretched his arms out and picked the ball up on about the 15 and ran it about 10 yards before he lost his stride and tackled by a Ewen defender.
I'll tell you, you haven't seen a pass from that Favre guy in Green Bay or that Pete guy in Detroit, or receiving a play like that you haven't seen from those two pro teams this year.
Well, Peters, everybody knows he has an excellent arm, but the Lakes haven't had to use the arm this year. Now that it's nice and dry, maybe they will see a little more of it today.
Alrighty, it's a 1st and goal. Pitch out, Marcotte goes the right side, plunges into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Linden.
Marcotte leaped into the end zone from his own 5-yard line. Over 2 blockers and 3 defenders.
How many yards was that pass? Completion good for?
45.
45. I'll tell you, that ball, he led him by at least 10 yards, and Jakovich had to catch up to it. He extended his arms, and it fell right at his fingertips.
Yeah, Jakovich doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he sure can make a hit when he does get in there. His catch there was genuinely pro style.
You certainly are right there, Al. And the Lakes will try for the 2-point conversion. They lead it 20-0. Pitch out left side. Barkell cuts into the end zone, and it's good. And the Lakes move out in front, 22-0.
Little Dan Barkell bulled into 2 defenders right on the goal line and fell in for the 2-point conversion.
Second quarter action brought to you by Ace Hardware in Calumet. Ace is the place. The holidays are just around the corner. But if you're still catching up with those fall chores and you still... Oh, okay. Gosh, that was one of my best ad-libs of the year.
Missing one player out there. Here he comes.
In the playoffs. And we're ready to go here as the Lakes will kick off with a 22-0 lead. Some outstanding plays so far in this game. A low kick. It squirts, it bounces off the helmet of a Panther at the 25, but it's picked up by number 32. Still on his feet is Chuck Bolo, crosses the 50 inside Lake Linden territory.
We have a flag back in the 47-yard. It looks, preliminary indication looks like a clip against Ewen-Trout Creek, but that was an excellent run back for a guy that picked up the ball after it hit him in the helmet, and he returned it about 20 yards.
Now let's see what that's going to cost them.
That's good for 15.
Boy, I'll tell you, that nullifies a pretty good run back.
Clip.
Doesn't it?
It is a clip, and they're marking off a 15-yard penalty against Ewen-Trout Creek, and the Lakes are going to take over on about their own 34-yard line. I mean, Ewen's going to take over on their own 34-yard line.
Well, they mark it up into the 39. We'll call it 39.
34. 34, Norm.
34-yard line, yeah. 34-yard line. Sorry about that.
We can see.
Here's a handoff right side to the big guy. Bounces off a one, but can't get by another. Bima's brought down for little or no gain.
Bima's brought down by John Locus and Jamie Koskela after a pickup of about, well, they haven't marked the ball yet, but it looks like they aren't going to move it about a half a yard.
Second down coming up. Just under 11 minutes left. And the Panthers break huddle.
3 guys out first.
And
it looks like Jamie switched sides with that.
Here comes Mackey calling the signals. Hands it off right side. 5, 6, 7. First down for number 32. The ball carrier, Chuck Bolo, and the Panthers move it.
Chuck Bolo ran off at the right side, and he was missed by 3 or 4 tacklers before he was met by Joel Kernan on the 50-yard line. That was an excellent run on the inside.
First and 10. Just over 10 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. And breaking loose again for some yardage, number 40, Greg Bima, and he picks up about 7 or 8.
That was Bima over the left side, the same play as last time, except the opposite side, and he was met by Kernan, and he picked up about 8 yards.
Second down and 2, so the Panthers again start moving the football. Stalled, moved, stalled, stalled. Now they're moving on this, their 5th series offensively. 2 setbacks. Handoff goes to Bolo. Bolo is stopped. He's going to be short of a first down.
Yeah, Bolo was tripped up by Jamie Koskela and tackle sealed there by Andy Ewert, and he might be just short of the first down.
So it's a 3rd and about 6 inches for the first down. They'll take a couple of cracks at it, so it'll take a yeoman performance from the Lakes defense
line up on that middle
to stop them from picking up a first down.
Jamie on the nose guard.
Might be a good time to go to the air, but they're not. The ball carrier is Bolo, and he's got enough for a first down, just enough.
Yeah, Bolo went off tackle, and he fell forward enough to clear the ball, so they pick up a first down on about the Lake Linden 40.5-yard line.
So it's a first down for the Panthers. 22-0 is the score with the Lakes out in front. First and 10 at the Lake Linden 40-yard line. Panthers spending a little extra time in the huddle. They break huddle now. Mackey over the football. Barks the signals. Goes back in the pocket. He's going to be dumped from behind for a 5-yard loss.
He lost the ball, and I don't know who recovered. There's a pileup on the field. It looks like after they unpile there, number 33, who was that, 30? Ryan Hawkins recovered the fumble, and that'll be a second down and 15.
Mackey was blindsided that time.
He was really blindsided by Ewert. He came from his left, and he didn't even know what was coming.
Boy, they were moving the ball again on the ground. They go to the air. Handoff, second man through, a little bit of that back, maybe to the original line of scrimmage, and that's Bolo carrying the ball.
Yeah, that was Bolo off on the left side. Excellent tackle by Jamie Koskela, who came from the right side of the line to pull him down after he brought it back almost to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring a 3rd and about 10.5.
Definite passing situation here.
There's 3 guys moving up. He ought to move up Norm.
Yeah, they send center out along with looks like 2 tackles.
2 ends.
2 ends. The 2 ends.
Early.
Okay, they send them out early. Mackey goes back in the pocket. He puts it up in the air. It's picked off by Miller. Miller's at the 50. He's at the 40. And he's dropped at the 37-yard line of the Panthers. Interception, Lakeland and Hubble.
That ball was thrown to an area where there was nobody on the field besides Jeff Miller, and he ran it back about 25 yards, but we have an injured Ewen-Trout Creek player down at the middle of the field. Lakes will take over on the Ewen 42-yard line.
We'll take a timeout here with 7:17 left. In the second quarter, it's 22-0 the Lakes.
As if it was thrown to him, and he ran it back 15 yards before he was tackled.
Already 1st and 10 for the Lakes at the 37. And Peters is hit, but he got the pitch out to Marcotte. Flag as Marcotte crosses the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. And we'll see what the flag is about.
That looked to me like an illegal block on a part of Lake Linden on the right-hand side there. Or no, they're calling it a face mask against Ewen-Trout Creek.
So what you're saying is they got away with the illegal block.
Well, I don't know if the guy turned his. If you turn your back on a blocker, it's not really a clip, and that's what the guy did. Out there, you got Jamie Koskela over deciding how much he wants to give him or how much he wants to take away from him, and it looks like they're going to march off 10 yards.
Alrighty, 10 yards it is.
15.
15 it is.
Yeah, Jamie's arithmetic's bad.
Well, he's a little better at math than you are, or making decisions, right decisions.
Yeah, he gave him 5 more.
The ball at the 14.
It's about time to start speculating here, Norm. We're in a good position to do it now.
Okay. I don't know. How about pass first down?
I see him running on the left side myself.
Peters calls the signals. He's going back to pass. It's complete to Miller. Miller's close to in. He is in. Touchdown.
That was an excellent pass thrown to Miller on about the 10-yard line where he twisted and turned, and he had 2 defenders to meet him, and he twisted in from the 5-yard line, stayed in bounds, and the Lakes go pick up their 4th touchdown.
Hey, I can see that playbook from up here. So the Lakes strike again, 28-0. 6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. And of course they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here. This time around, they'll probably start the PATs if they get any more touchdowns. Here's a pitch out right side, Barkell. He's got some running room now. He can't get in. He's down at the 1.
Barkell was met there at a 3-yard line by 2 Ewen-Trout Creek players, and terrific tackle on him when he tried to leap in. Held him outside, so hence the 2-point conversion attempt failed. Onto the field now coming are the Eastern Enders, the team from Pickford, I see, making their appearance on the opposite side, Norm.
Ace Hardware and Calumet bringing you second quarter action as they have all season long, and Ace will continue to follow the Lakes. And, you know, if you didn't quite finish those chores, maybe the folks at Ace Hardware and Calumet can help you out finishing those fall chores. They certainly have all the tools that you need at good low prices and friendly advice, and one of the most complete hardware stores you're going to find in the entire Upper Peninsula. And if you want to get an early start on your Christmas gift shopping, yes, you'll find interesting gifts at Ace Hardware in Calumet. Remember, Ace is the place. They're ready for the kickoff. John Lucas with a low kick. It's picked up inside the 45 at about the 44. There'll be no return on that.
Yeah, that ball was kicked to the left side into the front row, and all they did was fall on it. Joel Kernan was down there looking for his chance to get a free one.
6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Despite the 28 points, this game has moved along at a pretty quick pace, don't you think?
Yeah, well, most of the passes today have been complete.
So it's a 1st and 10 for the Panthers. The Panthers at their own 44-yard line. 1st and 10. Mackey is not in there right now. There's a handoff right side, very little gain. Mackey was pretty well shook up in there now as Ryan Hokins at quarterback.
Yeah, Ryan Hokins handed off on the left side to Bima on a quick opener, and he was met by number 55, Jamie Koskela, for a short gain of about a half yard. It'll bring up a 2nd and 9.5 with the ball on their own 44-yard line.
Matter of fact, trying to scan the eyeball the sidelines right now. I don't see number 12 over. Is he over there?
Over there behind. He's over behind the players on the 40-yard line.
Okay.
They're working on him.
Still working on him. Here's a handoff to Bolo. Bolo across the 45, tripped up at the 46-yard line and gave him a couple.
Bolo tried to hurdle over Jeff Miller, who got a hold of his legs when he was in the air, and he held him to a gain of length of a body, maybe 2 or 3 yards.
Talk about Mackey being a fine quarterback and a leader offensively and defensively. On top of all those attributes, he's only a junior.
Yes, and he also he complements their basketball program. He's an all-around athlete and a real fine guy.
Well, we echo what you said. We hope that he gets back in action real quick like here this afternoon. They're still working on him on the sidelines. What is his apparent injury appear to be?
It looked like his shoulder when he was going off the field. However, he was like hobbling at the same time, so I don't really know at this time.
Alrighty. Meanwhile, Hokins goes back in the pocket. He's being rushed. It's picked up. Goodbye. There he goes. Wide open. Kostelic. Touchdown number 64. John Lucas.
John Lucas just picked up the highlight of his 4-year football career after a hard hit by Ewert on the quarterback. The ball wobbled off and picked off by Johnny Lucas, and you could tell the fire in his eye to score the first 6 points of his 4-year high school career.
Well, the next time I see John, I'm going to say one thing. Congratulations, but you're not quicker than Jerry Ball.
Well, he was quicker than anybody else out there. He got in before he was tackled.
There was nobody in front of him. There were a couple of ushers, and that was it.
That's why he wasn't tackled. The ushers didn't tackle him.
He had all day to do it, and John Lucas does it. Touchdown on the interception. 2-point conversion pass attempt for Miller in the end zone is incomplete. So with 4:56 left in the second quarter, timeout on the field, the Lakes 34, Ewen-Trout Creek nothing.
That was good. I like to see them line.
5 minutes left in the opening half, 34-0. The Lakes have poured it on here in the first half.
New kicker.
And who's kicking off here?
I don't know if this is Dezelia or if this is, I can't get the number here, but it looks like 81. Okay, we have Kentola kicking deep.
Kentola boots it, end over end, picked off at the 18-yard line, up to the 30-yard line, across the 30 to about the 33. Looks like that was Chad Newman as he's brought down number 32, Bolo.
Yeah, that was an excellent tackle in there by the Lakes defender. I think it was Kevin Peeney who was running down the sideline and cut in and took him from behind. Bolo ran the ball back for about a 10-yard gain, and Ewen-Trout Creek will start at their own 33-yard line.
Speaking of Newman, I haven't seen him here today, have you?
Well, Newman had a concussion last week on that goal line play when he collided with Marcotte, and I don't think he's playing today.
No. Well, you can't mess with those concussions. So it's a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Handoff left side, a little bit of running room. Fumble on the play. It's picked up. The Lucas is going to go again. Touchdown, Lucas.
A big hit on the quarterback by Jamie Koskela sprung the ball up in the air, and who was waiting for it? John Lucas, and this time he scampered about 30 yards, and he's making a habit of scoring touchdowns.
Well, it's unbelievable. He just picked up his first prep touchdown on an interception. He picked that fumble up on one bounce, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's his second touchdown in one game. He's out to break his old record.
He said it, and he's broke it. PAT after. The kick is up. It is good by the Finnish exchange student, Marco Sipila. Timeout on the field. 4:15 left in the first half. It's Lakeland and Hubble 41. Ewen-Trout Creek nothing. We're going to go to bed and dream about this. I don't know if it's happening or not.
Yeah, I think he wanted to break his old record of one touchdown that he scored in the game, and that was scored a little earlier in this game, so he broke it and he got 2 now. And the defense for the Lakes seems to be doing all the work here. They're picking off passes and picking up fumbles, and the offense is really not spending that much time on the field. I think the defensive unit's been out there more than the offensive unit today. Of course, it's the same unit.
Well, the Panthers losing their quarterback hasn't helped their cause any. The kick bounces over the receiver, and it bounced inside the 10 and out of bounds as it's touched on the 8-yard line. And it was touched before it went out of bounds.
That ball was kicked by, I think it was kicked by either Dezellier or Peeney, who's not their normal kicker. It bounded on a 20-yard line and bounced over the head of the defender and was recovered down on Ewen-Trout Creek 4-yard line. I guess when trouble rains, it pours. Now Ewen's got 97 yards to go before they're in pay dirt.
And they're pretty well shaken up too offensively. Their quarterback sitting on the sidelines, Mackey. They've got the second-string quarterback in there. And now the Panthers want a timeout. And Hokins is their backup quarterback. They seem to be a bit confused and disorganized right now, Al.
Yeah, they're a little disheartened too. And when he came to the line, they looked a little confused of what was there. Didn't exactly in the position he's playing in. He has to play kind of conservative, and I think the Lakes defense was probably positioned in the wrong place for the play he was going to call. So he called a timeout, which is better than perhaps taking a safety in the end zone.
The 3-yard line. Let's call it the 4-yard line. They seem to be closer there, and we're ready to go here with 4:11 left in the first half. Hokins over center, calls the signals, hands it off left guard, and gain of a yard or two on the play by number 22, is that Steve Butler?
Steve Butler on the left side, and we have a Lake Linden player down on the field now on about the 5-yard line, but Butler was met at the line, but he managed to get ahead for a couple more yards. The injured player down there is Joel Kernan.
And it looks like his right leg is in pain. Notice here they have 3 trainers from the northern staff that are quickly out on the field attending to these injured players.
And he's hobbling off with the assistance of a couple of coaches, and it looks like Joel Kernan will be done for today at least, and that's going to be a big loss for the Lakes. Some kind of an air cast or something there to hold it together, and I see no motion there. They're calling for some kind of a cart to take Joel out of here. Meanwhile, play has resumed, and we don't know what happened.
Okay, the play is stopped at the line of, line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 with 3:42 left in the first half. The Panthers have the ball at their own 7-yard line.
Remarkable thing about Kernan, his older brother played about 6 games throughout the playoffs and all the way down to the Silverdome with a broken foot, and he wouldn't go to a doctor because he knew that he would be on the sidelines.
Oh, interesting note there. And now the Panthers call a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout here from the Superior Dome in Marquette. 3:29 left in the first half, 41-0 the Lakes. And 7 for the Panthers. They're still in deep trouble at their own 7-yard line. Hokins, the new quarterback, hands it off left side. A little bit of running room, and that's about it. Gain of a couple of yards. There's no way the Panthers are going to try to gamble right now down in their own territory so deep, Al, after they got burned 2 times in a row.
No, and their field position right now inside their own 10-yard line doesn't lend much to passing, especially after the last 2 passes. There's been interceptions on one by Miller and one by Locust, so it don't pay to pass. I think they're going to try to punt the ball out of here and try to recoup.
Greg Desmarais standing deep in his own end zone. Takes the snap from center. Perfect Spyro. Gets the kick away from his own goal line. It's going to be short. It bounces at the 30-yard line. Who's got the ball? Some good faking out there. The ball bounces to the 35. Marcotte finally ends up with it, but he didn't fool the defense of the Panthers.
Yeah, Marcotte faked the handoff to Barkell going the other way, and he kind of punished the guy that wanted to tackle him, and he's slow getting up. He was tackled by Chuck Bolo and also another Ewen-Trout Creek player who's down on the field, so we have yet another delay here.
So another injury, and this game was moving along so well. The first quarter went by just so quickly. The second quarter went by the first half of it to 3 quarters of it very quick like. Now with a this is the third man down, 2 from Ewen-Trout Creek. Their quarterback went down, and Mackey is out. Keranen went down for the Lakes. He's gone. And now the latest injury to the Panthers, and that player, yet unidentifiable, is on the field, and he's down. 42-yard line. Kurt Rowe's in the backfield now, along with Barkel. Rowe gets the ball across the 40, 35, 30, tripped up at the 26, close to a first down.
Yeah, that ball, it depends where the spot comes out. He leaped over last defender, and I'm sure it is a first down, but while we weren't watching there, Norm, when the injured player was on the field, they switched from the M backfield to the R backfield.
Yes, and here they are, the R's.
Yeah, the R backfield is in there about 2 minutes earlier than they normally are. Normally they start the second half, but today they got in there in the first half.
Okay, so it's a 1st and 10. Rowe and Roberts, the R backfield, and there's a handoff left side. It's Roberts down close to the 20. Pretty good game.
Yeah, that was off of the left tackle, and Roberts just kept on running and moving, and he had about 4 or 5 white jerseys on his back, and he carried them for an additional 3 yards. He picked up 6 yards. It'll bring a second and about 4.5 from the 20-yard line.
Peeney and Jakovich come in now. Barkel comes out with Jakovich in there. You kind of wonder if they might go to the air.
We see Doug Hodges warming up on the sidelines too. We'll probably see Peters coming out of here pretty quick.
And of course, Keranen is their backup quarterback, so they're going to go to a 3rd-string quarterback. And there's some movement in the line, so the play never gets off.
Yeah, the preliminary indication is on the Ewen side of the field, but I think the Lakes drew him off, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Lakes, and they'll bring a 2nd and 9 from the 30-yard line. I was watching the big fellow on the Ewen line that time, and he didn't go for it, but the linebackers behind him started to move forward after the Lake down lineman moved.
So it's a 2nd down and a long 9. The ball at the Ewen-Trout Creek 36-yard line. Peters calls the signals. Pitches out right side to Rowe. Crosses the 25. Heads to the corner. 20. Down to about the 10-yard line where he's ridden out of bounds. It'll be enough for a first down.
There was that excellent block by Johnny Locust again, springing Kurt Rowe for the last 7 yards. When you got that 64 to follow, he's always good for a few extra yards after some excellent line blocking there by the right side of the Lake Lennon line.
So we have 1 minute left now in the first half. 41-0 with the Lakes out in front. Last Saturday in Lake Linden, the final was 44-0. Now Peters calls the signals. Peters hands it off right up the middle. Roberts down inside the 5-yard line.
Roberts down to the 5-yard line where he was met by Baima and a host of other Ewen-Trout Creek tacklers, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 5-yard line.
Wow, now we have an official timeout, I do believe. We're sending out number 79 of Ewen, Corey Lorenz, for...
He's holding on to his right arm. I think he's injured.
Yeah, and so he wanted to stay in. The officials noticed it, took an official timeout and sent him out of the game. He's got to stay out for at least a play. Here's the pitch out the roll. He's down to about the 4-yard line before he's tackled.
Yeah, another excellent tackle by Baima of the Ewen-Trout Creek Panthers, and after a pickup of about 2 yards, it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 from the 3-yard line for the Lakes.
Well, the Lakes would like to punch it in here before the half since they're so close, even though they lead 41-0. And they'll have time for one more play. And Peters hands it off. Roberts, he's near the goal line, but he's going to be stopped. No, he's in. Touchdown.
Yeah, Roberts came to the goal line. He ran into a host of Panther defenders, so he sidesteps to his left and then takes one step forward, and hence he's into the end zone, and that makes the score 47-0 with time run out in the first half.
Okay, of course, they'll attempt the point after. Marco Cipolla, the Finnish exchange student, comes in.
Yeah, there's another delay on the field. We have another injured Ewen-Trout Creek player going off. I can't get the number. Can you get that number, Norm? Boy, it seems like they're falling one after another around here. I hope this game don't get called because they run out of players.
I was looking at that Lakeland and cheering section down there. They're all facing the Channel 6 cameras. They're singing the fight song.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know what you were, the football game's on the field, Norm. I don't know what you're watching.
Well, I'll tell you, the football game's over on the field. Things going on in the stands are a little more interesting right now.
Well, I guess this type of a game sometimes does get a little bit on the boring side, but we'll have to grin and bear it.
Kick is up, and it's blocked. No good. So as time runs out here in the first half, we'll be back to wrap up the first half for you in just a moment. The score at halftime, Lakeland and Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek nothing. The last man on the field down there today that is looking for any sympathy is the head coach of the Panthers, Pete Heidemann. He had his team prepared coming into this game. They did not look that bad in the first half until Mackey got injured. They made a couple of offensive mistakes, but they were a couple of series there. They did march the ball on the Lakes, and they did look a lot better than they did last Saturday. But then everything just kind of fell apart, and now they're just going to have to run on pure pride in the second half.
Well, we did see in the first half Ewen-Trout Creek moving the ball quite well for the first couple of series of downs, but we did see an adjustment made by the Lakes. Scotty Backus was put in the game at a tackle position, and it kind of ended the running. The infusion of Backus into the line, along with the other linemen there, it ended Ewen's running game. So they elected to go to the air at that time, and Mackey did have a couple of near misses for almost completions, and then he was lastly picked off by Jeff Miller, and on that same play he got hurt. At that time we had a new quarterback in for Ewen-Trout Creek, and Hokins, and Hokins tried to air the ball up a couple times, but he was unsuccessful. However, I think the big story of this game, Norm, is going to be the running of the Lake Linen's new back, Locus, who picked up a total of about 70 yards in the first half, on the one on a pass interception, and the second one on a fumble recovery. After that fumble recovery came on a very hard hit on Hokins by Jamie Koskela, and the ball flew out and it flew right into Locus's hands. We also seen in that first half a rash of injuries. I don't know if it's from the playing on the rug here at the Dome or what it's from, but Lake Linen lost the services of, at least for this game, I don't know how bad it is, Joel Kernan, who is just went off the field on crutches, and Ewen-Trout Creek lost the services of their fine quarterback Al Mackey, and they also had A.J. Bickman was hurt, and number 59 was hurt, and just at the end the fourth player was hurt. So I guess the rug is either taking their toll, or the footing is too good inside of this dome. Our statistician Gary Wenberg got the totals ready on the first half, and I think we'll turn it over to him, and he can let you know what happened as far as the statistics for the first half.
Okay, we'll start with Ewen-Trout Creek first. We had Bolo with 9 carries for 41 yards, Hogan's 4 for 14, Baima 6 for 24, Butler 2 for 20. They had a total of 99 yards on the ground. They weren't doing bad on the ground, but they had 2 key interceptions and 1 fumble, which resulted in scores. They also had 40 yards in penalties, but they gained far more yards than they did a week ago in Lake Linden. For Lake Linden, we see a new game out there today, passing, so the runners haven't gained as many yards as they usually do. Marcotte had 5 carries for 48 yards, Miller had 4 for 19, Roberts had 2 for 9, and Craig Rowe had 3 carries for 24 yards. And in the passing completion, Lake Linden completed 5 of 8, and we had 5 different receivers on that. We had Karanen 1 for 20, Kentla 1 for 20, Miller 1 for 18, Jakovich 1 for 45, and Miller again for 14 yards. So they got a total of 117 yards in the air, which is highly unusual. They did miss a couple of extra point conversions, but with the touchdowns at 7, we got a score now of 47-0.
Yeah, actually in that half, the offensive stats don't look all that great for a Lakes team, but when you have the defensive stats like's occurring today, you don't need all the offensive stats. When a defense is scoring as many touchdowns as the offense, I guess that's a pretty tough team to stop. I would say that if the Lakes play with the intensity that they played today on defense, they could go a long way in these playoffs. Their defense over the year has been a little bit on a lackadaisical side off and on, and their offense has been pretty crisp. But today it seems like their defense is right up there with the offense.
So we'll be back in 8 minutes with the start of the third quarter here from the Superior Dome in Marquette. The score at halftime, Lakeland and Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek nothing. That game that looks like it could very well be played right here in the Dome.
Well, I would guess it would be played in the Dome at this time of the year. I don't know where else you can play calling the game on a Sunday night before a Friday night or Saturday. That's in 5 days, anything can happen. I would also like to bring up that Joel Kiernan, who got hurt in the first half, does not have a broken ankle by all indications, but it's either twisted or torn ligaments or sprained or something. He's on the sidelines now being tended to by a host of girls.
That'll make him feel better, but not the leg. Sure.
No, and he's going to be sorely missed because both offensively and defensively, he's quite a hitter on offense and as a blocker, and he's a good receiver. And on defense, he's the last guy back, and he earlier in the game he picked off a pass and he made quite a few tackles from that spot. So he definitely will be missed.
To be that pass play to Jakovic.
Yeah, that was a well-thrown ball, and it was a well-caught ball. Jakovic made a professional-style catch over his shoulder, going at top speed, and we're ready for the second half kickoff.
And the Lakes will receive. And they lead 47-0. Short kick. It's picked up at the 35 across the 40 to midfield. They didn't catch the ball carrier, but a pretty good return to about the 45.
Yeah, that ball was taken by Kentala, and he just put his head down and covered the ball up real well and started falling forward, and he fell forward for about 10 yards.
There was nowhere for him to go, really, so he did the smart thing.
Yeah, he had two hands on the ball. He wasn't going to give it up, and I think that's his first reception for the year on the receiving team, so he wanted to make sure that he done well.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Lakes at the 45. And there's a new quarterback.
Doug Hodge.
Who's in there?
Doug Hodge.
Hodges is in there. Doug Hodges, the new quarterback. Handoff right side, nowhere. Doug Hodges is a 5'9", 150-pound sophomore getting playoff experience.
Yeah, we have the whole second unit for the Lakes is in there, and that was Everett on the first carry from scrimmage. He went nowhere. He was met by half of the Ewen-Trout Creek line, but we don't see any of the starters out there right now.
Bryce Everett, of course, seen very limited action this year. He's 5'8", 146-pound junior. Now this gives Coach Ron Warner a chance to rest his regulars, and more important than resting probably is limiting that risk of injury.
Yeah, that's correct. And at this stage of the game, with the score as it is, it's really a nothing game. And to risk starters getting hurt for next week's game, which will probably be a tougher match than this week, I would say that Warner is not going to put too many of his starters out in the second half unless he absolutely has to.
Rowe with a little bit of gain that brings up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. The ball at the 47. Pitch out right side. Rowe across the 45. He's run out of bounds as he reaches the 49-yard line, so that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6.
Yeah, Rowe used a stiff arm on the Ewen-Trout Creek defender, Chad Newman, but Newman got him by the jersey and didn't let go, but Rowe managed to pick up a yard before he went out of bounds on about the 49-yard line, which bring up a 4th and 6, and Lake Linden will be punting for the first time today.
So Newman is in the lineup here. He wasn't in the first half, though, was he?
Well, no, there's
the other Newman.
There's two Newmans. There's two Newmans out there.
Okay. Any Oldmans out there? No, both Newmans. I know. Poor pun. Poor pun.
Beautiful.
Marcotte doing the punting, 25-yard line. And it's Dave Newman. Both Newmans are out there now, so one of them's got to be the injured one.
Yeah, both Newmans are out there. That was an excellent punt of about 30 yards, and Locust waited for the man to catch the ball and run a little bit, and then he went in for the kill.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. I don't know what's left in this football game for either coach to do. The Panthers to show they still have pride and not giving up type of attitude, and the Lakes seeing some people that haven't seen a whole lot of action this year. There's a fumble. Looks like I saw a fumble. Anyway, we'll see what they call it. Yeah?
That ball was knocked out of the running back's hand by Jamie Koskela when he came by, and I think Jamie Koskela might have fell on the ball.
Yeah, the big guy gets it. The all-star center.
He also gets a chance to get off the field after one play.
Well, 6'4", 242-pound senior. Not because you're here and he's your son, but he has had an excellent high school career.
Yes, and he's kind of a low-key player. He's just a journeyman at doing his job.
Okay, so Hodges at quarterback, hands it off left side. Nowhere to go for the ball carrier. Is that Roberts?
Roberts. Yeah, Roberts was met at the line, and I don't know if he might have returned it back to the original line of scrimmage. Well, they put him for gaining a half a yard. Lake's playing very conservative football now. Ron Warner not wanting to be accused of running up the score. It seems like he's content 3 downs and punt at this time in the game.
Keep the clock moving.
That's right.
Weather causes injuries, so does the turf, and there have been more injuries here today to both teams than I think that they've had, for most of the year outside.
Yeah, the ball carrier on that play was Rowe again, up the middle for about a yard. He was tackled by number 77, Corey Matson, after a gain of about a yard. This is going to bring up a 3rd and 9. The Lake's really playing conservative football right now, just keeping the clock moving.
And the clock is moving with just under 8 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Lakes pouring it on in the first half, 47-0. Pitch out left side for Rowe. Turns the corner, brought down as he crosses the 30. So there's going to be a loss down at about the 29-yard line of a couple of yards.
Yeah, excellent pursuit on Rowe by number 53, who was not on the program. I don't know who it was. He caught him in the backfield for a loss of about a half a yard, and the tackle was sealed by number 32, Chuck Bolo.
Well, wherever the Lakes do play next weekend, and we hope it's here, we'll be here to bring you all the action. That is Mike's side, wherever the Mike will take us. Up the middle, short gain of a couple, and the Panthers will take over on downs. Well, there was a good indication that the Lakes were not going to try to run up the score. Otherwise, they would have put the ball in the air.
Yeah, every play so far has been into the middle of the line, and I don't know if Warner's calling the plays. I haven't seen guys running in and out, or is he just alternating the play between Rowe and Roberts and then Rowe again?
So the Panthers take over at their own 27. Just under 7 minutes left in the third quarter. 47-0 is the score. And the quarterback, Hawkins over the ball. There's a pitch out left side, and nowhere, bound to about the line of scrimmage is Bolo. Maybe a loss, of a couple on the play.
Yeah, excellent pursuit by Marcotte out from his linebacker position. Fought off the blocker and then made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Alan Mackey, the fine quarterback for ETC, out for the day with a shoulder problem. Joel Kiernan, the backup quarterback for the Lakes, out for the game with a leg injury. There's the handoff, a gain of a couple on that play. Greg Bima.
Yeah, now on every play we see another reserve going in to take over for the Jamie Koskela coming out now. 76, who's going in his place? Robbie Hill.
Boy, the meter level, crowd noise-wise, has just gone to 0.
Yeah, it's kind of hushed in here. Everybody kind of waiting for this one to end, I guess, Norm.
And both coaches, I think, probably are going to be, you talk about the Lakes being conservative. The Panthers may be conservative until at least they can move the ball inside of Lake Linden territory. So far, they've kept the ball on the ground. And there's some good running room across the 40. 50 may go all the way. Number 40, Greg Bima at the 10-5. Touchdown, Panthers.
Yeah, that was an excellent run off a left tackle by Bima. And he had one key block On that play thrown by by Steve Butler on the last defender, and he ran about maybe 60 or 65 yards for the TD.
Looks like about 73.
73. I don't know where the ball was placed at, but it was somewhere.
Somewhere in that area. Well, was that second down, or the ball, the first down marker? One end of it was at the 32. That was the original line of scrimmage.
Our statistician, Gary Wenberg, says a 73-yard jaunt for that touchdown, and I think that's going to put Ewen ahead on the ground of the Lakes today.
Wow. Pitching out right side, and they're going to throw it, and he's in. Touchdown, or the two-point conversion is good to Bob Sikala, and the Panthers get on the board with 5:12 left in the third quarter. There's a timeout. The score, Lake Linden-Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek 8.
Scored on Lake Linden for the year in 10 games, so makes it 4.8 points per game.
So Bima, is that Bima, right? 73-yard touchdown, John. Nice run. Boy, yeah, he was clear for about the last 50, 60 yards. There's a good kick, and that bounds, and the Lakes are going to let it roll into the end zone, so the Lakes will take over 1st and 10 on their 20.
That went over to deep receiver Kurt Rowe's head by about 15 feet and bounded into the end zone. That was an excellent kick for the line drive type that came off the foot of, who was that doing a kick in there, Demery?
Yes. Nice kick. So it's a 1st and 10 for the Lakes at their own 20. 47-8 is the score. Lakes lead it. Here they come out of the huddle, led by Doug Hodges, the quarterback. Hodges hands it up the middle to Roberts. Roberts works his way to about the 23. It'll be a gain of about 3.
Yeah, Roberts up the middle, tackled by A.J. Bickman, and the entire second unit is staying in there for the Lakes with a couple of players off the JVs now going in.
They marked the ball at the 24, so that'll be a 4-yard pickup. Well, that's moving the ball. Now the Lakes would like to try to move the ball. They're not going to put it in the air now, but...
Yeah, we can't say we've seen a lot of clean shirts, Norm, today. They're all clean.
Yeah, you got that right. And there's a handoff left side, maybe a yard on the play. And the ball carrier...
Average.
It was Roberts again.
Average.
Or Everett. 33?
Yeah, Everett off to the left side for a pickup about a yard and a half. And boy, there's so many new players in the game, Norm, that I got a hard time trying to keep track of who's out there.
Yeah, I guess that's why they gave us a program, huh? Pre-regional playoff action from the Superior Dome. Here's a handoff right side. Looked like the line was, there was an open in the line, but coming on the other side from out of the backfield was that that heavy guy there. What's that number 78? Leo Rasmus.
Yeah, Big Leo shot in there and managed to hold the runner to no gain. Leo is the biggest man out on the field today. He comes in, I think, 290 pounds, and he's 11th grader.
He broke through that line and caught the ball carrier from behind. Here's the kick. Pretty good punt. Hits at the 49 of the Panthers, takes a Lake Linden bounce, and it rolls down inside of the 35, and it's down right there. I thought maybe it had been touched by a Lake Linden player prior to
that. Well, that ball was touched by a Lake Linden defender, and it's going to be marked back to where he touched it at. It appears that somebody saw it there. I don't really know. They don't know the exact spot, but the referee is indicating about the 42-yard line where Ewen-Trout Creek will take over 1st and 10.
Well, now let's see what the Lake Linden defense can do here.
Oh, that's the guy in the white hat.
Now, even though the score is 47-8, they don't want to start giving up a whole lot more yardage. Like you said, what do the Panthers have on the ground here today? They've gained the Lakes on the ground offensively.
I think they're ahead of them at this time.
Because the Lake Linden defense has scored 3 touchdowns. There's a near first down. The ball carrier picks up about 9 or 10.
Yeah, the Lakes' first unit on the sidelines, they're getting a little antsy about getting back in there. Ewan's kind of moving the ball at will against the second unit.
And they just might get back in there.
They're all sitting in a row. They're all in a row like crows on a fence down here in front of us.
Nobody's worried, but that isn't the point. The ball at the 49 now of the Lakes. There's a handoff right side, plunging his way for a yard. is Chuck Bolo.
Yeah, he was stopped there by the left side of the line, namely Robbie Hill and Mike Poisson.
There's not been a pass thrown in this half, right? Am I right?
Not yet. There hasn't been a pass. This would make a second and long, and they might throw a pass here unless they run their second down to see where they finish off. Maybe we'll see our first pass of the half.
Second down and 8. The ball at the Lake Linden 46-yard line. Hawkins, the quarterback keeper. He's got some running room across to the 40-yard line. He's going to be a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, that tackle in there was made by number 85, Mark Hodges, for after a pickup of about 6. It's going to bring a 3rd and 2. It still can be a running play, and we're in 4-down territory for you and Trout Creek Panthers.
That was a pretty good play call there. Caught the defensive line of the Lakes by surprise. Brings up a 3rd down and just a couple of yards for the first down. Handoff, first man through, and he's got the first down. Is that Bolo? 20?
That was number 27, and I don't see a 27 on my program.
Okay, so it is a first down. The ball at the 36-yard line of the Lakes. The Panthers on the move with just over a minute left in the third quarter. The Lakes lead it 47-8. The quarterback, Ryan Hawkins, calls the signals. Handed off to the right side. Butler plunges his way. He's going to go. He got through the line. Right side. Touchdown, Panthers.
Yeah, he was apparently stopped at the line, and he went ahead and advanced about 4 or 5 yards into a host of Lake Linden players. Some way he scored it out of there and went the rest of the way to the end zone for another Ewen-Trout Creek touchdown. And that gives them 14 with 53 seconds left in the third quarter.
Well, that may be it for experience for a while, for this quarter at least, for the Lake Linden second team, Al. I think probably we're going to see the first team come back in there defensively anyway.
Well, I don't know. I see them on the sidelines, and they're looking like they feel they should be part of this game at this time. But I guess it all hinges on what occurs on the next series of downs on part of Lake's second team offense.
2-point conversion attempt is no good. Timeout, 53 seconds left in the third quarter. Lake Linden Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek 14. Getting set to kick off is Bob Sikala. There's the boot, end over end. At the 22-yard line, it's picked up by number 87, Jakovich. He crosses the 35-yard line. We'll see where they mark. It'll be 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was an excellent return by Jakovich. He ran it up toward the middle of the field up to the 37-yard line, and we'll see what the Lake second unit can do now. This here will probably have one play before the break of the third quarter.
35 seconds left in the third quarter. 47-14. The Lakes scoring all their 47 points in the first half. Hodges still the quarterback. Handoff left side, nowhere to go. Roberts, the ball carrier.
The ball carrier that time was Kevin Peeney, and he had nowhere to go.
Excuse me, yeah, that was number 80. 5'8", 143-pound junior. Slight gain, but we'll call it 2nd and 10. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. We'll be back to bring you the third and final quarter here from the Superior Dome. The score after 3, Lake Linden Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek 14. 9-6-9623 for all your hunting needs, and good luck to the Lakes. And Hodges hands it off, right side. No, sir. Number 45, Kurt Rowe, back to the line of scrimmage.
Kurt Rowe met at the line by 4 or 5 white jerseys. The Lake Linden Lakes having trouble moving the football against this Ewen-Trout Creek team, but I notice now Ewen is starting to put a couple of their second line players in there, so maybe it'll change the complexion of things.
47-14. We're just underway here in the last quarter. Well, this has been 2 different halves of football. There's no question about that. Hodges pitch out left side, roll across the 40. He's at the 44-yard line. Pretty good pickup of maybe about 7 on the play.
Yeah, Rowe raced out to the left side, and he ran about 7 yards before he was hit by Hawkins, and that'll bring up a 4th and 3, but it's going to force Lakes into a punting situation again, which will be about their 3rd or 4th punt for this half.
And the Panthers have scored twice here in the second half against the second team of the Lakes, which is getting a whole lot of experience, and that's good. And there's the kick by the Lakes' Ricky Marcotte, and it gets a Lakeland in bounce, and it's going to roll all the way down to the 10, the 9, and it's finally touched before it goes out of bounds by Andy Ewer.
Yeah, that ball went and took a good Lakeland in bounce and a real roll, and it was a slow roll, and finally momentum went out of bounds on about the 9.5-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a roll you're not going to get on grass.
Yeah, at first it looked as if the ball hit the Ewen receiver, but he managed to sidestep it.
Well, the Michigan Tech Huskies will play their last home game of the season here tomorrow afternoon against Valparaiso.
Yeah, it's good that they are, because I imagine there's a lot of snow on the field in Houghton today, as well as any other part of the Copper Country.
So 1st and 10 for Ewen-Trout Creek. Poor field position. That's just where the Lakes want them, at their own 10-yard line. And there's the handoff up the middle, good for about 4 or 5-yard line. That was a good play selection call. I didn't know who had the ball, and it turned out to be
the ball. The Hawkins took that ball up the middle, and he fought off about 4 or 5 tacklers to get 5 hard-fought yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 on the 15-yard line.
Just under 10 minutes left. Hawkins, the quarterback. Hands it off right side, ridden out of bounds, number 32, Chuck Bolo, as he got just a couple.
Yeah, that was a good play by Kevin Peeney. He caught Bolo right on the 15-yard line and knocked him out of bounds for no gain.
I'll bring up a 3rd down now and 5.
It looks like Ewen-Trout Creek, when they go to the offense, they put their first team back in, and they're playing their second team on defense.
They break huddle. Ball at the 15-yard line of the Panthers.
Go that way, watch this thing. 32.
There's a handoff left side. Bolo, a little bit of running room, close to a 1st down. He might have it.
Yeah, it depends on the mark of the ball. It looks to me like it is definitely a 1st down. The rest right on the goal line. That time Bolo charged ahead off the left side, or off his left side for a 5-yard gain, and an excellent tackle in there. Put him away. Otherwise, I think he would have been gone for another 75 or 80-yard touchdown.
So it's a 1st and 10. Now at the Ewen 20-yard line for the Panthers. 47-14, the Lakes lead. Hawkins, the quarterback. Handoff, trying the right side, bowling his way, good for about 4 yards.
Bolo again.
That is Bolo again.
Yeah, that's Bolo coming off on the right side, and he carried about four. No, that was was that Bolo? I'm not sure. That was I think it was Butler. He carried about 5 defenders with him, along with number 77, Corey Matson, who was doing a block and was carrying a couple of the defenders too.
Well, he ran like Bolo. I'll tell you, Butler, 5'8", 175 pounds, pretty good size. Not the height way, but weight-wise, but he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, they're running behind Big Leo on that right side.
2nd and 6. Handoff goes right side this time, and a couple of yards there for the ball carrier. That's number 13, and I don't have him.
Number 13 is the little Rasmus. That's the younger one. That's he's on a program of ours. Rasmus is 24. He's 5'2", 140 pounds, but I think somebody's exaggerating.
Okay, that's Josh. So it's a 3rd down and 2. The ball at the 28 now, the Panthers. This drive started from their own 10. We have 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Panthers will want to pick up that 1st down and continue to work. Here he's going to keep it. Left side, he tries to get it to the line of scrimmage. He does, and he's got the 1st down. Turned out to be a pretty good run.
Yeah, he would have gained a whole lot more if he'd have kept going the way he was going, but he turned back into the defenders, but he still managed to pick up the 1st down. That was kind of a gutsy play by Hawkins.
Well, when this game is over, and you don't know the score, and you look at the stats, you might think it's a close ball game.
Yeah, I guess the defensive stats don't show up in first downs and yards gained, apparently, and Lake Linden did a whale of a job in the first half in that category.
Second team has been here the entire second half of play. And pretty good gain on that play. Bima down up to about the 37.
Yeah, Bima run off the left side. He was tackled by Kevin Pena after a pickup about 6 or 7 yards. That's going to bring a 2nd and 4 on Ewen-Trout Creek 37-yard line.
2nd down and 4.
They're only sending 2 out now. They don't put the 3rd one out no more.
Well, the
coming off the side of the field, that's why.
Clock is down to 6 minutes left now.
This time.
Well, we'll see what they're going to do here. There's a handoff left side. The initial hole was there, but then it closed, and Peterson was hammered after a gain of 1 or 2.
Who was that tackle? A terrific tackle there by Jakovich on the ball carrier. I didn't get the number of the ball carrier, but he met him. They were both going wide open, and the ball carrier took the worst of it.
That was Peterson, Dan Peterson, 5'6", 650-pound junior. So another big 3rd down play here for the Panthers. The ball at their own 40. This drive started at their 10. It's a 3rd and a couple. Handoff right side. No, maybe a yard. And then stopped was Steve Butler.
Yeah, Steve Butler was met in there on a real hard hit by Brad Destramp, and he's going to be about 6 inches short, or a foot short of a first down on his own 41.5-yard line.
Well, the second half has gone almost running time because there have not been any penalties. There has not been a pass thrown by either offense. The Panthers, the only time the clock has stopped is when the Panthers have scored, and they've scored twice.
They're going for it.
Here it is, 4th down, and they're going to go for it, and they've got it. And then some. Couple tough yards by Butler after he picks up the initial first down.
Yeah, Butler, he never says die. He managed to go ahead for the first down, and then he went another 4 or 5 yards because they couldn't bring him down. I think the Lake's got to start tackling a little lower on these players. They're trying to tackle him up in the shoulders, and they're going for a ride.
Well, Coach Warner is stuck with his second half game plan, and he hasn't varied at all.
No, and Warner, you can never accuse him of running up a score because he gets all his players in the game, and they all get plenty of playing time.
Here's the pitch out right side. Erasmus down to the 40, still on his feet, the 30, and brought down at about the 25-yard line.
A big block by big brother Leo sprung the little senior Erasmus for about a 30-yard gain. Leo put a block on a guy, and I think he's still going backwards.
And now the Panthers call for a timeout. Only 9 shopping days left until November 15th. Are you ready? If not, stop at Trap Rock Gun Shop. It's limited action in one game is going to have in in preparation for the next game. But now that's why that guy down there named Warner is there, and I'm up here. He knows what he's doing. But the Panthers are on the move right now. That's Butler again.
That was Butler off of right tackle for a pickup of a couple. He looks to be like a pretty good runner that Coach Hademan got coming up for in the future here. He's a 10th grader.
So with just under 4 minutes left, 47-14, the Panthers on the move again. The Lakes out in front. The ball at the 23-yard line. Mackey, hurt back in the second quarter, has not reappeared, and Hokins has been calling the signals. And there's a handoff, good for a yard or two. Is that Sikala? Is that 25?
No, that was 35, Newman.
Newman?
That was Newman last week. I don't know what it is this week. It's a 35. I don't know who 35 is.
It's a 25.
Oh, it is 25. It's Sikala. That's who it was. 25, Sikala.
Okay.
3rd and 4 on the 20.
Well, this time they got 2 setbacks. 3rd and 4 on the 20-yard line of the Lakes. Handoff left side, good for a yard, and that'll bring up a big 4th down. That'll put this young defensive squad of the Lakes to a test.
Yeah, that was Butler again who plunged ahead for about 1.5 yards. It's going to bring up a 4th and about 2.5 or 3 yards. And we see some first-string players coming back in. Bima and big A.J. Bickman coming in a line to keep this drive going.
I don't know. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they went to the air right now, would you?
Well, I think they're going to run it.
I don't think the Lakes are expecting it.
This way. They're going to run it to the right side.
I suppose why not, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they went to the air. There's a handoff left side. It's going to be close. Number 35, Chad Newman. And he may have held.
They did not make it. They're going to finish up a yard short. An excellent job by the young defensive team of Lake Linden. Lake Linden will take over on downs on their own 21 and a half, maybe 22-yard line.
Well, that's, in this particular stage of the game, that's better than them scoring a touchdown.
Yes, not only that, but Ron Warner sticking with those young players and making them get baptized by fire out there. That's the only way you're going to learn how to stop a team, is being on a field.
Well, why that? That's why this team can be so continually successful year after year, because they get so much experience from their younger players. They're ready.
Yeah, that's right. And he don't pull them out when the going gets tough. They got to learn to fend for themselves.
Well, you're absolutely right there. They've had this team has played the entire second half. There's a handoff, a gain of a couple. Number 30, the ball carrier. Huh?
Yeah, that was Roberts carrying the ball, and there's a timeout on the field by Ewen-Trout Creek. I don't know what it's for at this stage in the game, but I think they're trying to keep the ball down on the Lakes end of the field with 1:36 left to go in the game.
We'll take a 30-second timeout. The score, 47-14. The Lakes out in front. NBA timeout here.
Yeah, that was a TV timeout.
Hodges hands it off. Couple.
Who was that there ran forward there? Get the number of that guy. 32.
Okay.
Lee Marcotte.
We took a 60-second timeout here on the radio. Oh, now they got another timeout.
Yeah, they're calling timeout because they're stopping the clock. And Warner's over there mad about that.
Well, 1:24 left, Alan. It's just about over, and everything was so anticlimactic right from halftime, and that's it.
Yeah. While we were away, Lee Marcotte, sophomore running back in there, gained about 4 yards on his first carry as a varsity player for the Lakes.
Okay, Doug Hodges. Think he'll go to he fumbles the snap, and he falls on it. I was wondering if he was going to go to the air. That's what I was wondering.
No, not at this stage of the game. What they're going to do, he was just trying to keep the clock moving, and now the Lakes are putting their punting unit in, and they'll be punting the ball from pretty darn close to their own goal line. The ball is actually the line of scrimmage being on 16-yard line. Ewan should have some pretty good field position for the final 58 seconds of this game.
Well, I guess I was just wanting them to go to the air. So the Lakes Marcotte will kick it away. A good spiral. It goes over the head, hits the 40-yard line, and rolls across down to the 30-yard line, and still rolling down to the 27-yard line. And he kicked that from about his own 10?
Where was this line? The line of scrimmage down there was, I don't know. He kicked for himself from about inside of his own 10. The ball was on a 20-yard line, so that's going to finish up being a 50-yard punt.
And it hit on the 40. It hit on the 40 and rolled 20 yards. At one time, at the 25, it turned and paralleled the side marker there, and then it made a left turn and rolled down another 5 yards.
Yes, and that punt, watching in his field from our position, it went up higher than the lights on the opposite side. That was a real college style or pro style kick by Marcotte.
Well, this will be the last play of the game if they get it off. And it's a keeper, and that's the end of the football game. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment in our second half and game stats too. The final score from the Superior Dome in Marquette, the Lake Linden Hubble Lakes 47, the Ewen-Trout Creek Panthers 14. Okay, 2.5 minutes.
Don't take that paper with you when you go out. Read it if you read it already.
What's that?
You read that already? This paper? right? Have you read it already?
Yeah.
Oh, leave it here when you go to I'll take a look at that.
You want to keep it?
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'm going to stay down here for a couple more games.
To 10, he predicted.
Who?
This guy in here. Wasn't far off.
And more football, and Mike Counters covering it all live at the Superior Dome. Mike?
Thank you, Steve. Second game just underway, first quarter. I'm going to turn here real quick. North Dickinson just scored, and it's 6-0 Nordics. They missed the extra point. North Dickinson over Pickford by the score of 6-0. Now, earlier this afternoon, Lakeland and Hubble defeated Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine. With the highlights, we turn to TV6's Mike Ludlam.
After stopping the Panthers on their first drive, the Lakes immediately put the ball in the end zone on a 4th and 8. Josh Peters to Joel Keranen for the score. Keranen later left the game in the second quarter with a leg injury. Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine could not move the ball. Lakeland and Hubble did on the next drive. Rick Marcotte, 24 yards, breaking a couple tackles along the way. 14-0 Lakeland and Hubble after one quarter. Again, the Panthers could not move the ball on offense, so on the next Lakeland and Hubble possession, Peters goes back the pass and will find Jeff Jakovic downfield, 48 yards behind the secondary. He's tackled on the 4-yard line. That set up a Marcotte touchdown, 22-0 Lakeland and Hubble. You would think things could not get worse for the Panthers, but unfortunately they did. Andy Ewert here will make the sack for Lakeland and Hubble. A few moments later, Jeff Miller would intercept the pass, and then it would be Josh Peters to Miller, 14 yards for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion no good. 28-0 Lakeland and Hubble still in the second quarter. On the Panthers' next possession, disaster would strike once again. Quarterback Ryan Hawkins will be rushed heavily by Ewert. His pass will then be picked off by John Locust, and he rumbles 43 yards into the end zone. The final score, Lakeland and Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine 14. The Lakes easily move into round 2. Mike Ludlam, TV6 Sports, Superior Dome.
And the Lakes will play the winner of tomorrow's Bark River Harris Central Lake contest. Now, joining me live, Lakes head coach Ron Warner. And Ron, first off, congratulations on your win. Big win over Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine. You also beat them last week.
Thank you very much. It was a big win, and we played some good football today on both sides of the ball, and it came out our way.
Let's look ahead a little bit. Bark River Harris Central Lake, you're going to leave right after this game to go scout it. What do you expect there?
Well, I would say that Central Lake is probably the favorite. They've got an excellent program. They're undefeated last year. They ended at 7-2 this year. I understand they got some good size, and I would say they'd be quite a heavy favorite.
Coach, you outscored your opponents during the regular season 394-40. So that means, you weren't really tested all that much. When your team is tested, how do you expect them to react?
Well, we have some veterans playing for us here. They've been around for a while, and I would expect that it's work as usual all the time. Each week it's the same thing. We've talked about it a lot, and we were heavy favorites coming into this game, and we went out and we played our game, and it worked out.
Let's talk a little bit about your running back, Marcotte. 2 touchdowns today, outstanding runner.
Yes, he's had a great year. He scored something like 31 touchdowns coming in today. He must have 1,500 yards rushing. He catches the ball. He plays good defense. It's his 3rd year starting for us, and he's a great kid. He's done a good job.
How about playing in the Dome? This is old hat for your team now because you played here last year, but do you enjoy playing on the turf?
We enjoy it very much. Last year, the first time since I've been coach, we didn't throw the ball. 0 for 0 passing. Today we threw for 115, 116 yards, and ideal conditions to pass, and I like that.
Is this team, Coach, I know maybe it's an unfair question, but do you think this team is better than last year's team?
I think this team is better offensively. This may be one of the best teams, and maybe the best team I've ever had offensively. Defensively, we probably had 2 or 3 better, but I would like to think we're improving on defense.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for taking the time out, and best of luck on the playoff road.
Thank you very much.
Lakes head coach Ron Warner joining us live here at the Superior Dome. As I mentioned, Pickford and North Dickinson going on behind us. I'll take a look at the scoreboard. 6-0, still North Dickinson out on top. Later tonight, another game. Ironwood will meet Downstate Clare. A lot of things going on tonight, Steve. Besides high school football playoff action, you have hockey, college hockey up in Houghton. The Michigan Tech Huskies hosting the Wisconsin Badgers. Both teams are 3-1 on the year. Big game for the Huskies. Hopefully they'll continue their great start. Also here in Marquette, the Northern Michigan University Wildcats looking for their first win of the season as they host the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Cats need to get on track. Certainly be nice if they could beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers tonight. Besides local sports, we have pro basketball tonight. The NBA season kicks off. The Milwaukee Bucks travel to the Palace to take on the Pistons. So lots going on.
All right, sounds like you're going to be busy for the next couple of days and through the weekend.
It's November.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Mike Counter reporting live from the Superior Dome. It's
6 high school football playoff games. You have hockey, Tech and Northern both at home.
Right.
You have NBA kicking off tonight. A lot of things going on. Of the 6 games, though, we have highlights from 3 tonight, Cheryl. Last Friday, the North Dickinson Nordics blasted Pickford 34-14 in the Superior Dome. Tonight, the same 2 teams met in the same place, but this time the game meant a whole lot more. Class D first-round playoff action on the line. For the highlights and outcome, we turn to TV6's Mike Ludlam.
Trailing 7-6 in the third quarter on a 3rd and long, number 16 Dominic Cherubini feints, rolls right, and takes off. Great block by Dennis Blockdale, number 65, and there's green turf in front of him. 54 yards for the touchdown. Chris Matson, number 18, would make the 2-point conversion. North Dickinson led 14-7. On the next possession, the Nordics were in the end zone again. On the double reverse, the ball hands off to number 23 Carl Kramer. He goes in 17 yards for the score. North Dickinson led 21-7 after 3 quarters. Pickford scored a touchdown to make it 21-13. Then with 4 seconds left in the game, quarterback Jim Belinsky's throw to the end zone will be knocked away by Carl Kramer. The Nordics win this ball game by the score of 21-13. They advance to the second round. Mike Ludlam, TV6 Sports, Superior Dome.
In Class Double C, the Ironwood Red Devils squared off against Downstate Clare in the Superior Dome. TV6's Mike Ludlam covered that game as well and has a report.
No score in the second quarter. Ironwood senior quarterback Matt Smith will fake and roll to his right. His pass is tipped by number 21 Matt Gillis and picked off. He thought about going to his right, but Gillis sees a lane down the left sideline. He goes into the end zone. The Pioneers kick the extra point and head a 7-0 lead. But Smith and the Red Devils drove right back downfield on the next possession. Ironwood was on Clare's 17-yard line. Smith rolls to his right, sees a lane cutting back to his left. Good block by 62 Brad Clemens, and Smith will go into the end zone 17 yards for the touchdown. Ironwood trailed 7-6. The Red Devils went for the 2-point conversion. Smith will find John Sokol just inside the end zone. Ironwood had an 8-7 lead at the half. Devils defense would do the rest. Jacob Shashelchik would intercept the halfback option pass, and the Red Devils preserve an 8-7 victory. Mike Ludlam, TV6 Sports, Superior Dome.
Correction on that score, should be 8-7 Ironwood the final. We're not done yet. Lakeland and Hubble against Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine. From the 24-yard line, Rick Marcotte takes the handoff. The tackle and guard pull, make nice blocks. The rest is history. Marcotte slips a couple of tackles at the 8-yard line and motors in for one of his 2 touchdowns on the day. The Lakes did it defensively as well. Ryan Hawkins drops back to pass, gets pressure, unloads right into the hands of John Locus, and the route was on. The final score was Lakeland and Hubble 47, Ewen-Trout Creek White Pine 14. There you see it, 47-14, the Lakes advance. In other action, we'll show you the scores that we just showed you. North Dickinson over Pickford 21-13. Ironwood shaded Clare, and the final in that one was 8-7. In Class A, Muskegon Reese Puffer beat Escanaba by the final score of 14-6. In Class C, Traverse City St. Francis nipped St. Ignace 10-7. And in Class D, Atlanta bombed Engadine by the final score of 44-20. There will be 3 playoff games tomorrow. It's time to shift gears.
They've exceeded. They're under one now. They're at 440.